In today's video, I'm going to share with you guys how long it takes to get a sale after you launch your Google ads for your high ticket dropshipping store. Now, if you're a beginner into high ticket dropshipping and you're new to the channel, my name is Marcus Lam. I'm an 8-figure entrepreneur from New York City. I've been doing high ticket dropshipping for the last 5 years, and my goal of this channel is to spread awareness to the online authorized dealer model. But more importantly, in today's video, I want to share with you guys what to expect when you run your ads, what to expect after you finally launch your precious ads. How long does it actually take to get a sale? Let's dive deep. So this video was inspired by one of the clients inside our one-on-one coaching program. So this is actually a question that gets asked many times, very often, more times than you could imagine. And that's why I decided to make today's video, because the more times I see certain questions being asked, I'm inclined to make a video to share with you all. So for the ones that do want to watch, make sure you guys hit the subscribe, hit the like button. This is going to be juicy. So when it comes to getting a sale, okay, many people will come into a assumption that sales is just one click, one process, one dimensional. And that is so far from the truth. The truth is, when you want to calculate a sale, after getting sales for my clients inside the coaching program, after getting my first sale online at the age of 20 years old, I could honestly tell you that a sale online comes down to 4 or 5 or even more different variables in order for you to make this magic sale. So what I'm trying to say is, many people think that sales is just running ads, but running ads is just part of marketing. And that's the first layer of a 4-dimensional layer to getting a sale. Okay, so when you're running ads, you don't want to go viral with TikTok or Facebook. You want to use search intent. That's why I like to use Google ads, Bing ads, whatever it takes for me to appear for a click for someone that's interested in buying. Okay, that's literally the first step of the equation. But to move forward after that, you have to think of other dimensions. You have to think of other literal layers in order for you to get the sale. Meaning, you're gonna have your back end or your follow-up process. Meaning, if you're trying to convert someone into a high ticket client, what you want them to do is be engaged with your brand. What you want to do is appear with your brand, with your ad many times. That's why email is so effective. That's why SMS is so effective. That's why retargeting ads are so effective. It's because the more touch points you get with the client, the more chance of likelihood of them buying from you. So at this point now, you're starting to see it's not just do this one thing and then you're gonna magically make a sale, or do this one thing and everyone's gonna have the same type of timeline to get a sale. It's kind of like going up and talking to your crush, right? You could ask your friend to the left of you, you could ask your friend to the right of you what you would say, what they should say, how they should say it, how you should say it, how you should go and approach your crush. And then you could go and think that this is terrible advice or this is terrible advice. And then, the point that I'm trying to make is there's so many layers to it, right? There's so many different ways you could say something. There's so many different ways you could get a sale. Some people get lucky with the right niche or a lucky niche, high demand, low competition, and boom, they get a sale within the first week of launching ads. Others, they're in a more competitive niche. There's more other variables that they have to consider. You have to look at things from a 4-dimensional layer. So the second layer of dimension, okay, after marketing, is your back end and your sales process. Again, you need to have multiple touch points with your client or your prospect, and that will include email, SMS, live chat, and even phone calls. Okay, the third layer that you have to consider is your customer, which I actually should put these into parentheses, is a variable. Okay, so 1 and 2 are things that you could control. 1 and 2 are your systems and your processes. 1 and 2 are things that you could set up and you can maximize for the conversion. Number 3 and number 4 are more variables. And what I mean by that is you can't account for it. You don't know whether the customer coming in, you don't know their urgency. You don't know how long or how fast they need it. Some clients come in and they need speed delivery. They have a project coming up for their bathroom remodeling, or they're getting a sauna and they need it immediately. Some clients might be okay with waiting 8 months. I have clients that waited a whole year. I know Trevor has a client as well, my business partner, that had a client wait for a whole year to get the order. And it's possible. It just depends on the buyer. And that's why 1 and 2 is so important. You need to have the right back end and the right sales process to capture the marketing, the people that you spend the money on. You have to use Google Ads, use the marketing to get people to know about you. You have to have the systems and the process to convert those clients. And then you also have to account for the client itself. You have to see what type of state of mind are they in. Are they in to purchase immediately right now? Are they in to purchase later down the road? Is this going to be a passion project purchase? Or is this going to be a mandatory expense? For example, the buyer psychology of someone that's shopping for their outdoor kitchen. You know, they've been dreaming of their new home for so long, and they finally have the budget to plan out the whole entire remodeling of their new home, and they need to buy a outdoor kitchen. But this is more for passion. This is more for fun. They get to remodel their whole backyard, their patio for their family, versus maybe a gym that just opened up. They need some weight machines, they need some bar racks, they need some saunas, and they need to get the business up and running. So there's two types of psychologies going into it. Both are high ticket, both have intent with buying your product, both need a different layer of understanding of the customer. So the customer is so important, and understanding them is so important, and that's why having the right back end and sales process is, see, this is why it all goes layer and layer. It's like a beautiful layered cake. Have you guys ever ate a cake before? A cake that has multiple layers, different flavors. And if you blend it correctly at the right time and the right place with the right clients, variable, it all goes mashing it into beautiful sales. And if you're able to perfect this timing, if you're able to perfect this algorithm, this formula, then you're going to be amazing. Fourth metric, variable, however you want to look at it, is going to be the economic variables. It's the real world, right? So a lot of us are entrepreneurs that are watching this. Most of us are probably entrepreneurs. And we have visions and we have ideas and we want things to happen. We have so much creativity. But at the same time, you have to match your creativity with what's going on with the real world. You have to parallel your creativity with what's actually going on. And so you have to look at things like the market. Is the stock market crashing? What kind of economic variables are taking forth that might affect my business? For example, if you're working with high ticket brands and their logistics might be from China, you have to consider that there might be some price raises for your store, and you will have to either fix your acquisition, meaning get even more customers at lesser costs, fix your back ends, raise prices. You have to adjust. So you have to look at the market variables. Now, if you're wondering, is the tariffs and all of the economic uncertainties going to affect high ticket dropshipping? Certainly it is. It's only going to boost it even more and even further, because a lot of suppliers, at least to my awareness, are switching up their logistics, are trying to find new ways to get the product. At the end of the day, with high ticket dropshipping, you're dropshipping from reputable big name brands. So they already have established market and they already have established customer base, and they're going to make sure that their customers are satisfied, and we as dealers, we're going to be okay because we're doing the marketing. We're not on supply chain and logistics. Leave that to the supplier. Find the reputable suppliers that are adapting through these economic uncertainties. Now that you understand that there are many different dimensions and different layers to look at a sale, now let's look at the metrics to determine the best way to get a sale, and more importantly, how to speed up this process. So for me, if sales are dry, or I'm just super antsy and I want a sale, these are usually the things I look at. I look at 4 things. Okay, I look at my live chat and my calls. So that's why it's so important that you stay connected in the frontline conversations. It's so important that you look at the signals of what's going on by the conversations that are coming in. So that's why having a CRM, that's a customer relationship management software, that's why that's so important. You have to be specialized in your niche. So having specialization so that you understand the product is going to give you a huge competitive edge. Now, the reason why I say that you have to spot for these things is because there's going to be some clients that might be a B2B. There might be some clients that are building a project for their backyard or their outdoor kitchen, and they're going to have other clients that will buy again and again. They're a contractor, and so you need to put yourself in front of them and be that dealer. You should be specialized in your niche, because you never know. Gauging whether or not you have long-term potential or sales comes down to that process. And this is the process. It's like finding people in your niche, and then knowing your niche, which is pool cleaning, golf simulators, outdoor kitchen, whatever your niche might be, having that specialization while managing the front end on the conversations, while also being informed in the economy, which is why I like to follow up and keep up to date with news, politics, podcasts, so that I know what's going on to help further conversation. And most importantly, I also ask suppliers how sales might be or sales forecasting. I like to ask suppliers for their best sellers, the catalog. Basically, suppliers really only have a few lines of products that drive most of their revenue. So when I'm trying to determine a sale, I'm looking at, okay, well, I'm spending my marketing, right? I'm spending my marketing on something, right? What am I spending money on? Is it going to be the best sellers of the supplier, or is it just going to be a less best seller of the supplier? And all of that is so important. All of these variables you have to think about, right? Because if you're on limited budgets and you're trying to get a sale and you're wondering how fast can I get a sale, well, it would make sense to find buyers that are interested in the product with Google Ads, find the best sellers of the catalogs, make sure that you have a good sales process. So when someone comes and clicks on your ad and they ask you a question, you have a dealer competitive edge while also understanding what's going on with the market that makes you a credible dealer. And then finally, nurturing and securing the deal. I mean, the faster you perfect these, the faster the sales come by. You're going to get sales on autopilot every single day, fam. So the point that I'm trying to make is these sales really do happen in high ticket. And it's when you put all of these pieces together. Some deals for some might close instantly. Some might take multiple touch points depending on your price on the item that you're selling. Sometimes you might have to budget or think in terms of budgeting your time and thinking that this is going to take a few months of speaking with this contractor to get this $30,000 sale. Like, it is what it is. Sometimes sales don't happen overnight. You have to be very calculative. You have to be very intentional, and you have to be patient with the right system. But this is the winning formula for success. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I'm so bullish on this business model, the reason why me and Trevor help others get to their first $10,000 a month with our one-on-one mentorship program, the reason why we love this and we're able to do this and do this really well and professionally for a living is because high ticket is truly the best business model. You have low overhead, high profit margins, and you don't have to own or invest money into inventory until you really want to, versus when back then, if you want to start a business, you had to invest into renting, right? You have to rent. You have to invest into product, staff, overhead. There's so much cost now. Things are about to be a lot more leaner. You're able to use AI to make even more calculated decisions. And more importantly, you understand that in order for you to get a sale, it is a multi-layer facet. So if you're a business owner or a high-ticket dropshipper looking to get started into high-ticket dropshipping or trying to bring your store to the next level, check out the one-on-one application down below to see if you might be a good fit for our coaching program. I'd love to see you guys on the inside. Thank you all so much for your time.